Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Holy smokes! It is raining outside. It is gray, diffuse light. I think there might even be fog. It's not very chill. I was too warm last night. I have on my bed right now 2 fleecy blankets and a bath towel on top of a sheet. But last night, if I'd had more than 1 fleecy on, it was too warm. And when I got up this morning, the muscle on the inside of my right inner thigh cramped up. Ugh, that is just horrific pain. But I managed to live through it. I got dressed and the day has started. Well, I mean, it did start. But anyway, though, front-loading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, anything at all, even for the algorithm, that would be double plus good. And, of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people that are helping to keep me and currently my only pet alive right now. My housemates have said that they plan on taking me to Olympia, because I'm within 25 miles of Olympia, Washington, to try and get a hamster sometime in December. So that'll be cool. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Yay. But past that, I've forgotten where I was going. But still, if you'd like to become a patron, there are links in the video description, as well as a PayPal, an Amazon wishlist link, my post office box. If you wanted to send me anything at all, I'll open it up on camera. Thumbs up, and yay, I got distracted. Yay for ADHD. Still, though, front-loading of videos over. Hokey smokes. I was trying to think of some other things that had happened, because my ADHD meds are going to take a few more days before they really start to kick in, and everything is just all flippy-floppy, 1,000 ping-pong balls in a wind tunnel situation up here. But thumbs up for that. Taking a look on my list, some things I want to talk about. One of the things I said yesterday was my subconscious has stopped beating its head against the wall, stopped beating its head against this brick wall that I've been beating it against for the past 58 years. So, you know, my subconscious head is beaten bloody a long time ago. And my subconscious has just apparently said, no, we're done with that. I haven't given up. I'm still trying to move around the brick wall in ways that aren't just beating my head on it, because for the past 58 years that hasn't worked. I mean, that's why I'm talking stuff out in videos like this. It's a way to get my ideas still out there and heard without beating my head against that one wall. I've managed to tunnel around it. It's a different format. It's a different way of saying it, so it's less coherent and less all in one place, but the ideas are out there. So I haven't given up trying to be creative or trying to do things with my creativity. I'm just giving up on beating my head bloody on that wall, because for 58 years that wall hasn't budged. So thumbs up for that. But past that, I wanted to talk about this. For the first time since I started going out walkies on a regular basis, I was nervous last night about going out on walkies. I mean, I have been lucky, super duper lucky, that I am even still alive. I mean, just in the past month, I have had 4 run-ins where if I hadn't been quick or fast or lucky, I'd already be gone. My luck is going to run out sooner or later, and the 2 days ago, it almost did. So I'm really starting to get nervous about going out on walks. I tried to make myself as visible as possible. I tried to do as much as I could to be seen last night. I need to get another flashlight for when I go out on walks. I need to get a safety vest. I want to get reflective tape to put on things. It's not going to be perfect. It might not even help. But it ain't gonna hurt. And that's a positive right there. Being more visible in any way, shape, well, not any way, shape, or form. Eventually, if you're like having those halogen lights that blind people, yeah, you've gone too far. That's not going to help. But at the same time, up to a point, being more visible is always a good idea. I mean, they find when you're driving in a car, Even having your headlights on during the day while you're driving with bright sunlight helps increase the other drivers around you ability to see you, notice you, and not hit you. So increasing your visibility is not a bad thing. So I wore as much light stuff as I could, and I actually rolled up my sleeves as cold as it was because I am shockingly white. I am so Caucasian that I almost glow in the dark. So having my arms from here down as I'm moving them around, it's like, what on earth is that? So that would increase my visibility. But I need to get, reflective tape. I'm going to order a safety vest because they're only like $7 from Amazon. And I'm going to wear one of those over the top of the stuff that I otherwise wear. Because, if it increases my visibility, if it can increase my odds of not getting hit even by this much, then it's a good investment. Because hokey smokes, it's been terrifying of late. And again, I mean, I have used up several people's lifetimes worth of luck. So in many, many ways, I honestly should not be alive. And I'm even going to mention that one again real quick. I was an active, hard alcoholic. And when I went into rehab in the year 2000, if you have a blood alcohol of like 0.1, I can't remember, it's 0.1 or 0.01, whatever that number is, there's 0.1 and all that, you are tipsy. If you're a 0.2, you're having troubles. If you're a 0.3, you're likely unconscious. If you're at 0.4, you're having trouble breathing. And if you're at 0.5, most people are dead. When I went into rehab, I blew a .544 on the breathalyzer, and I still remember that night. That alone should have killed me, because I would go to sleep with my blood alcohol that high and wake up the next day. So yay. And then when they do various blood checks, they check on the ammonia that's in your system, because as just a natural chemical process, your body produces ammonia. No one had seen as ammonia as high as I had in any body that wasn't on the autopsy table. I am lucky to be alive in so many ways that I've used up people's luck just in the past month that I'm still alive. So I don't want to keep burning through that. I need to stop. So thumbs up. Past that though, checking my list still to see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. Oh yes, this is one that I have a very grim sense of humor, and one idea that I had for a superhero thing is I made a generic supplement for role-playing games if you like superhero stuff. It was just a homebrew add-on, but it's the idea that whatever makes superheroes in your universe is fatal. It doesn't matter what kind of superhero you are, you begin to get sick. And you get sicker and sicker the longer and more superheroing stuff you do. In game terms, you're collecting up a little tally thing, and the higher it gets, the sicker you are, until eventually your superhero teammates notice you haven't showed up. They go to your secret ID place, and they find your desiccated corpse there, because it finally killed you. So that's pretty grim. Thumbs up for that. But I hate this part of what I'm going to talk about next. But it's something that very briefly has to be talked about. It's part of my condition and where I am on my own particular spectrum. I really don't like stuff like this at all. But I'm also trying to keep my Cryptid and Razor's Edge stuff as realistic as possible. So, puffed air out the side of my cheek. My dentures on this side don't fit well, so I puff air around them, and that's fun. Yay. But I try to keep this as realistic as possible. So, yes, cryptids are physical beings. They may be made out of a different type of matter, a different type of energy. They may have more that they can do than we can, but they are still physical, organic beings. They need to eat, they need to drink, they need to breathe, they need to do all these things. So yes, that means that they have to empty their bladders. And they have to move their bowels. Now, their digestive systems are much, much, much more efficient. If, as I've mentioned, you watch in horror and terror as a 5'6", 120-pound naked woman bodily and completely devours a 6'3", 250-pound muscle-bound adult human being, yeah, that's horrifying, but that's also 250 pounds of meat they gotta get rid of at the end. And yeah, your life, if a cryptid gets hold of you in that fashion, is reduced to one pretty hefty duty bowel movement, and then your story's over. Luckily, there are things that they do. Primarily, urban cryptids and rural cryptids use as many human facilities as possible. They are reflections of us. They would be better than us if they were able to be and weren't shackled to us. Yeah, they like to be clean in that fashion. They use bathroom facilities as best they can. And if they cannot use human facilities, they use... Warlords and gang leaders will set up places for cryptids to use so that nobody is just messing up the entire area, and cryptids don't want to mess up the area. They want to keep things clean. Gang leaders, warlords want to keep things clean. Areas are maintained and rotated so that cryptids, if they can't reach human facilities, are at least keeping as clean as possible. So yes, one trip and your story has been finished. As stated, I don't like to talk about that stuff. I don't even like to think about that stuff, but there you go. That's where your life ends up. There is more about the cryptid stuff that I was thinking of, but now, of course, I cannot, but that's okay. As well, there's try to remember all these things that I had written down, but now I can't because my brain. So really quickly, one of the reasons I have also not been able to think clearly and concisely about things that I want to, like various cryptid parts, is that, again, I'm following my creativity instead of trying to push it to any predetermined point. So if my brain and my subconscious decide, tonight we're going to think about the Crimson Kingdom and the King in Crimson, then that's what I do. I can't force it to go back and think about cryptid stuff because pushing it where I want it to go has never worked. Following it has been. So really, really quick, one of the things that I wanted to just remind you if you don't know, and to remind you if you do, because it's been so long since I've really talked about the King in Crimson. The King in Crimson, yes, has a very odd name. They go by either informally, King, or full title, the King in Crimson, and it is the Crimson Kingdom. It is not suspect or dangerous, this name and fixation on the color red. They don't enjoy blood or anything more than that. It is just, for whatever reason, red is a pleasing color. Not everything is done in red. Even in the Crimson Kingdom, in the central district where the King in Crimson lives and governs, where they live in Red Palace, it is not all red. There are lots of other colors, but the color palette is predominantly shades of red. With the cell phone, like the first cell phone that came out with, the Sayaki A6200, that's the color red on the wavelengths in angstroms. So he's not even he. They, because they are non-human, they don't really have a gender. They find the color red and frequencies of red very pleasing. And so they go with red. Crimson Kingdom. The Crimson Kingdom itself is large, and for the inside, that is very, very rare. Before the king became sapient and sentient, They remember things from back then mostly as feelings and impressions, visuals and such like that. No real thoughts, but they watched human civilizations rise and fall over tens of thousands of years before one day, less than 1,200 years ago, their first thought as a sentient sapient being was, if I am to be king, there are many pitfalls I must avoid. Well, they're more than 1,200 because it took quite some time for them to be able to set up and get their kingdom started. They needed the center of the inside. They weren't sure why. That was just a feeling and impression, but they knew they needed the center. And even though the King in Crimson has a deep, abiding affection, sympathy, empathy, and love for the human species, they will do what they have to do to get what needs to be done. Back then, they would first deal with diplomacy, with ambassadors and emissaries, and if diplomacy didn't get what they needed, they would use alternate diplomacy with blackmail and other dangerous rumors and assassinations. And if this didn't work, then there was worse, outright war, causing civil wars, collapsing other kingdoms, bringing armies against other armies. And the King in Crimson was no backseat general. When soldiers were fighting, the king was up there fighting with them, elbow deep in the enemy's guts and killing quickly and efficiently. And when even this didn't work, and they needed to involve themselves in the genocidal slaughter of the innocent, the king was once again there, elbow deep in the guts of the victims, killing the innocent, as many, as quickly, and as frequently as they could, until they took the center. Because the center of the inside is where there are literally infinite physical riches, from just mines, infinite number of mines with an infinite number of metals, to plants and crops. There is an infinite amount of area for them to grow food on. There is a lot that goes with that, so it's not as pleasant as it sounds, but they needed the resources. And after finally kicking everyone out through kicking them out of life or out of land, it took time to hold it, defend it, build their settlement, and then 1,114 years ago, plant the first foundations for what is the modern day kingdom and declare the new calendar Common Era 0. And now the Kaiju rampages, Night of Terror at Common Era 1114. The King in Crimson is still young, thank goodness for them, and they are trying to build their kingdom into a beautiful machine that will last far past their own passing. So thumbs up for that. And I've opened up 24 hours with the comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people who have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well... We have Jesse Koskinen. Always good to see you in the comments. And Hokey Smokes, I sure wish they would. Sylvia Wilkinson, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And our brains are all very, very amazing. It's amazing they work at all. We have Confused Owl 29. Good to see you in the comments. And yes, it is good to follow your creativity and the happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully it was nice for you. JAYY, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Good to see you. Flora Mew, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Good to see you in the comments, my friend. There is Ben B, greatly appreciated, and oy vey. Yeah, and then there's Oddity, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Chris, greatly appreciated. Good to see you in the comments. There is Nicole Quenaya, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. There is SR.CULTIVO, greatly appreciated. ANDULVAR, greatly appreciated. And also talking about the audio issues of YouTube. It is joyous. There is RJ Mitchell, greatly appreciated. And nobody can drive anywhere. It's amazing that anything works at all. There is Cake, greatly appreciated and good to see you. Shinra, I don't blame you. I would like to visit the Razor's Edge if it existed. I don't know if I'd like to live there, but I would like to visit. And that is it. 14 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. Get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. Thumbs up and thank you. Well, it's Friday, and governmental places are usually pretty full trying to get hold of them via phone because all the old people wait until Friday to make calls to government agencies. So I'm going to try and get some stuff done, but if I can't, then I can't. I'm also going to try and do some recording, whether it's for a video game or one of the solo RPG things, not sure. I really want to do D100 Dungeon for the channel. I've done every other thing that I have so far. That's the one I really want to do. And of course, please take precautions for your situation, for your location, for everything that is happening. If people are getting sick, please practice your isolation and mask up. If people are getting hit by cars, don't go dancing in the middle of the street where the accidents are happening. And if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of that bus horn, well, there's not much you can do. I mean, you're going to get smeared across the landscape. It's going to be disgusting. I mean, imagine taking a spatula and smearing a hot dog over a countertop over a space of 2 or 3 feet. That's the equivalent. It's going to be horrific, but at least it'll be fast. That bus with your name on it. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.